Labor shortages have affected businesses across the country, especially here in Grove. I'm Bronte Sorotsky with how this has affected a local restaurant and what the chamber says they're doing to help out.
And world and local leaders react to the death of former Secretary of State Colin Powell.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Worker shortages are affecting businesses all over, but Grove, Oklahoma has been particularly hard hit in the past few months. This is KOAM News at 10. KOAM's Bronte Sorotsky sat down with a business owner who was forced to close a location due to this, and the Grove Chamber, who's been trying to help bring more workers to the area. She has more on tonight's Making It Work report.
Most all businesses here in Grove, it's been very difficult for all businesses. I think you can drive through town and there's a help wanted sign on almost every business in town.
Terry Askew owns the Honey Creek Barbecue in Grove, Oklahoma. It's one of 2 restaurants he owns, except it's the only one he can currently use.
It's called the Parrot Steakhouse and Grill, but from being closed for 45 days due to the shutdown, we've been running on a very minimal, short-staffed crew. Year and a half we've run on that short-staffed crew. It's, there's just no applications. People just aren't coming in applying.
Now, the Honey Creek's owner says he's had to combine his 2 restaurants after the Parrot had to close due to low staffing.
And of course, with this, with short staffed, if you just 1 or 2 people are out, then it just makes it impossible to operate. So we were had to be closed for a minimum of 2 weeks. We're just unable to hire any staff, and instead of running the restaurant on a partial staff, not operating, we had just temporarily closed the doors for now.
Their situation isn't unique for Grove either. Donnie Crane, president of Grove's Chamber, says he's been seeing plenty of businesses shutting their doors.
With COVID and some of the impacts from that, it's been an increasing problem here in Grove and Grand Lake, finding employees, and particularly finding those employees that our employers can depend on to be at work every day like you need to run a business.
And even after combining the 2 restaurants, Askew says he still struggles with staffing, but can keep his restaurant operational for the time being. In Grove, Bronte Sorotsky, KOAM News.
The owner of Honey Creek Barbecue says they're currently hiring for all positions. We're going to have information on how to apply on our website, KOAMnewsnow.com. Nice evening to cap off a beautiful day, Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it turned out to be a pretty good Monday for us today. Temperatures not bad, just a smidge above where we should be for this time of the year. Average high 70, we hit 73 after a crisp, cool start this morning at 48 during the early morning hours, but not much is going on here. We have pretty much clear skies, some clouds sneaking in on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. We will get partly to mostly cloudy skies tonight, but this little line's gonna just kind of skirt right on through, and then we're right back to sunshine by the time we head into the morning hours for us tomorrow. And Tuesday looks great as well. We're not gonna start quite as chilly as what we did this morning. I think most of us are gonna dip back into the lower 50s for overnight lows. And then southerly winds are really going to increase for us tomorrow, and that's going to help our temperatures warm up even a little bit more. So 52 to start, 64 by 10, 72 by noon. Another perfect day, high temp is 75. When are we going to get some thunderstorms? We're going to look at that here in a bit.
All right, we'll catch you then. Flags in our nation's capital and all across the country are lowered in honor of General Colin Powell, who died today with COVID-19. The former Secretary of State wore many different hats during his time in Washington, D.C., but in a town that's known for its political divisiveness, Powell was known as someone who always sought unity and made decisions based on principle, not politics. Skylar Henry has more details outside Walter Reed National Military Medical Center in Bethesda, Maryland, where the soldier and statesman passed away.
President Biden ordered the U.S. flag be flown at half-staff in honor of one of America's most famous soldiers and statesmen.
I became friends with Colin Powell, who we just lost. Think of our Colin Powell. He's not only a dear friend and a patriot, one of our great military leaders and a man of overwhelming decency.
Presidents Obama and Bush both praised Powell's service and called him a friend. Powell endorsed Obama in his first run for the White House, calling Obama a transformational figure. And he served as Secretary of State under President Bush, where he often pushed back against the use of military force.
I believe Secretary Powell's years as a soldier are what made him such an exceptional diplomat. He knew that war and military action should always be a last resort.
General Powell tended to downplay any portrayal of him as a symbol for black achievement, but there is no denying he broke down barriers and created a path for others to follow.
First African-American chairman of the Joint Chiefs, first African-American Secretary of State, a man who was respected around the globe.
Lloyd Austin, who himself is the first African-American Secretary of Defense, said Powell was more than just a soldier and statesman. He was a friend and mentor.
I could always go to him with tough issues. He always had great counsel. We will certainly miss him. I feel as if I have a hole in my heart.
President Biden praised Powell's selflessness in a statement saying, time and again he put country before self, before party, before all else, in uniform and out, and it earned him the universal respect of the American people.
Leaders from our region expressed their condolences to General Powell's family. Kansas Governor Laura Kelly says she is deeply saddened by the loss. She remembers Powell as a statesman, a skilled and thoughtful leader who was committed to seeking nonpartisan solutions in the best interest of Americans. Missouri Governor Parsons sent his and his wife's condolences, saying Powell dedicated his life to this nation, our people, and to the protection of American freedom. Powell, who was fully vaccinated against COVID-19, had multiple myeloma, a cancer of plasma cells that suppresses the body's immune response. He was set to get his booster shot this past week, but fell ill and wasn't able to receive it. Even if fully vaccinated against COVID-19, those who are immunocompromised are at a greater risk from the virus. Powell also had Parkinson's disease. Oklahoma health officials say COVID-19 deaths will spike this week as the state reconciles its record of deaths with those reported by federal officials. The State Department of Health says it's adding more than 1,000 deaths from the coronavirus. State epidemiologist Dr. Juliana Stone says it's part of an annual review performed by all states.
These are cases and deaths that have occurred since the beginning of the pandemic that we have done our due diligence on to assure that they're accurately reported to CDC.
State Health Department reports a pandemic toll of nearly 11,000 deaths. Still ahead, the KBI is investigating the death of a Crawford County inmate. And the report cards are in on school performance. We're going to look at how schools in our region stack up.
All Denny's pancakes are made to health and environment.
KBI has been called in to investigate an attack that killed a 20-year-old Crawford County jail inmate. That attack happened on Saturday. The victim, Dante Martinez, was found severely injured in a jail pod, an area that authorities say is accessible to several inmates. Martinez was taken to the hospital where he died. Investigators say after they reviewed surveillance footage from the pod area, they identified Gavin Wood, a 25-year-old from Arma, as the attacker. KBI was called in because the Bureau investigates all in-custody deaths which occur in Kansas jails and prisons, unless the inmate who dies is being regularly attended by a physician or the death is ruled natural by an autopsy. The National Assessment of Educational Progress has released the latest national report card, and the scores are down in some states. The NAEP monitors the academic performances of 9, 13, and 17-year-old students with long-term trend assessments. The data goes back nearly 5 decades, to the early 1970s. On the state level, Missouri and Kansas are both down compared to the last assessment in 2012, but not much compared to the national average. Oklahoma is down significantly compared to the national average. The NAEP has not yet released specific district information, but area districts monitor their own numbers closely.
We certainly met and talked about what standards and objectives were most important, how we were going to look at those, how we were going to teach them. And that's been a big piece. And when students aren't able to meet that, we try to give them additional time and support to get there.
The NAEP report says overall scores are up across the nation since the 1970s. We have links to that data on our website. Of course, that's KOIMnewsnow.com. The U.S. Supreme Court today released an opinion in favor of the Tahlequah, Oklahoma Police Department. In 2016, Tahlequah officers fatally shot a man wielding a hammer. The opinion released today protects the officers from a lawsuit that claimed they used excessive force. Justices said in that case and in another case involving officers in California, officers were entitled to qualified immunity. That's a legal doctrine that protects officers from lawsuits unless it can be shown they violated clearly established rights. The Justice Department is asking the Supreme Court to block a Texas law that bars most abortions after 6 weeks of pregnancy while legal challenges play out. The DOJ today made the formal request in an emergency application. According to the department, the law is, quote, clearly unconstitutional. The DOJ says letting it stay in effect would perpetuate the ongoing irreparable injury to thousands of Texas women. The High Court will likely issue an order after asking Texas for a response and giving the DOJ an opportunity to reply. A huge holiday hiring push is underway at Amazon. The retail giant plans to add 150,000 temporary U.S. workers for the holiday season. But like many other retailers and logistics companies, Amazon faces challenging finding enough workers, so the company is raising pay, dangling bonuses, and expanding benefits. The warehouse jobs have an average starting pay of $18 an hour and sign-on bonuses up to $3,000. There is also an additional $3 an hour for certain shifts in some locations. Amazon business has surged during the pandemic as many shoppers spending more time at home increased their online purchases. The company has added more than 450,000 workers in the U.S. since the beginning of the pandemic. Apple is getting ahead of the holiday shopping game, the tech giant giving the world a look at its second batch of new products. The virtual unveiling featured Apple's AirPods 3 and two high-end MacBook Pro laptops powered by its next-generation silicon chip. New MacBooks feature longer-lasting batteries, an advanced front-facing camera, and the return of the HDMI port and SD card slot. For the first time, the Pro comes in a 14-inch model. The 14-inch starts at just under $2,000, and the 16-inch starts at just under $2,500. The entry-level AirPods 3 have better sound quality and are sweat and water resistant for workouts. They say they're available for pre-order now for $179. As people get into the Halloween spirit, the Better Business Bureau is warning consumers to be wary of holiday scams. The Bureau offers a few tips to keep yourself safe during the spooky season. First, use a credit card rather than debit for any online purchases, as it offers more protection. Also, when shopping in a seasonal store, ask if they'll be open after the holiday and ask about their return policy.
A lot of things people are purchasing online, sometimes they're not arriving. So people, unfortunately, scammers are using this as an excuse. They're using the whole shipping crisis. They're saying a lot of things that may be true, maybe not true, but they're taking advantage of the news and they're taking advantage of the situations.
Bureau also recommends always doing your research before making a purchase and entering payment information. Later, the Kansas City Chiefs managed to put another one in the win column. We're going to hear from head coach Andy Reid in sports.
Plus, it looks like pretty good temperatures most of this week, but what about rain chances? We're going to look at that coming up.
Brought to you by Sleep Solutions.
It definitely turned out to be a pretty nice Monday for us today. Temperatures fantastic as we went into lower 70s, 4 highs, plenty of sunshine, a little breezy at times, but no complaints. Doesn't get much better than this for the middle of October. Great live shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo's just outside of Seneca, Missouri, and it looks pretty good as we go through the next few days. In fact, our temperatures all week long are going to be fantastic. We do have a weak cold front on Wednesday. This will give us some clouds, a few showers, drop our temperatures just a hair as we go into Wednesday and Thursday. Thunderstorm chances over the weekend, and then a much bigger system moves in next week. Also a severe threat. You can get my long-range forecast on my month-long blog. That is KOAMnewsnow.com. All right, outside right now, it's kind of crisp. It's not bad. Feels pretty good. Most of us mid to upper 50s to near 60 degrees. I think most of us will drop back near 50 to 52 later on tonight. Southerly winds keeping our temps up just a little bit, but these will really increase as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. Outside right now, it's 57, south winds 5 to 10. Humidity is at 67%, and we've had pretty much clear skies all day long. Have a few clouds sneaking in on the Kansas and the Oklahoma side. It's not a big deal. You can see this little finger of clouds that are going to roll through tonight, so we will get partly to mostly cloudy skies, but they should be out of here just in time for the morning. Let's go west. Here's our next wave. Here's the jet stream way up here. So it's a little cut off, weak little low. It's not very strong, but this system will affect us on Wednesday with some clouds and a few chances for some scattered showers. So let's go through time. For tonight, you can see that band of clouds working through. It's out of here by morning. Plenty of sunshine. Southerly winds pick up near 70 by noon. I think most of us right around 75 during the afternoon. So here's your day planner. 52 to start, 70 by noon, 75 by 4 p.m. Those south winds at about 10 to 20. We may have gusts upwards to 25 miles per hour at times, but still a pretty good day. Tomorrow night, clouds increase again after midnight. This is with that weak little system that's going to roll in. You can see clouds increase Wednesday. Here's about the noon hour and some very spotty little tiny showers. They kind of increase a little bit once they get into southwestern parts of Missouri. And then also look, the northerly wind, so a cold front rolls through. This drops our temperatures back down, probably into the 40s by the time we head into Thursday morning. But Thursday and Friday look pretty good. Then we'll start to see our next storm system affecting us by the time we head into the weekend. Warm front lifts through, scattered thunderstorms by Saturday, even into Sunday. But what this is going to do is pop our temperatures all the way up into the 80s Saturday, Sunday, Monday, into Tuesday. Much stronger system is going to roll out by Tuesday, giving us good chances for thunderstorms. Also a shot for some severe weather, but that's 8 days away. We don't need to worry about that right now. 75 tomorrow, 74 Wednesday, 70 on Thursday. Look at the 80s rolling in over the weekend. So summertime just won't let go.
Not quite. And those of us who put down fall grass seed don't mind seeing an occasional shower.
Yeah, we need it. We'll need it definitely by this weekend.
Yeah, that's true. Thanks, Doug. Coming up in sports, Girard head coach Neil Philpott reflects on his team's undefeated season. And two number one seeds battle it out in the final game of the volleyball regular season.
Doug Henny has earned the NW.
College Heights volleyball has earned the number one seed for the Class 1 District 9 tournament. The Cougars have a bye and will play in the semifinals on Saturday, but first they have one more game remaining on their schedule. College Heights hosting Diamond today. Diamond also a number one seed in the Class 2 District 11 tournament. Wildcats take the first set. In the second, Gabby Dooley goes across the court. Diamond goes on to win the second as well. Later, Lauren Turner places this one in the perfect spot, and College Heights needs the third set to stay alive. Addie Lawrence with the big kill there. She gets a few from that spot. Cougars win that set 25-23 and the next one 25-22. That forces a fifth, but it's Diamond that prevails, coming up with the big block there. A 5-set battle. Diamond comes out on top 3-2. Girard is on a roll this season. They're undefeated with one game left to play. It's an exciting time for the Trojans. They're averaging 39 points per game on offense and giving up just 10 points per game on defense. That type of production has earned Girard a 7-0 overall record, their best under head coach Neil Philpott. And coach says he's most impressed with his team's ability to stay locked in.
Haven't gotten too high, too low. They're playing with a lot of confidence, but they're also playing with some humility too, and so that's kind of a characteristic of a good team that wants to stay hungry, but is also confident in what they're doing. I still don't think we've played our best game yet, and we're still striving for that. But that's why we come out to practice and try to keep getting better.
Girard will square off against Frontenac in the regular season finale this Friday. Both teams are 4-0 in the district. The Kansas City Chiefs added one to the win column on Sunday, defeating Washington 31-13 to get back to 500. It was a rocky start for the Chiefs. They turned the ball over 3 times in the first half. Their season total at 14. That's the worst in the league. But the Chiefs adjusted at halftime. They found the end zone 3 times to take the lead, and the defense held Washington to just 76 yards and 0 points.
We had another bad first half, and it could have spiraled right there. I mean, it could have, how this season's gone, the adversity we dealt with, it could have spiraled. But I thought the guys, it was a lot of mental toughness to go back into battle and to go out there and believe in each other. And the defense, the way they played today, I mean, that offense has been putting up points. I mean, they have some playmakers over there, and for them to hold firm while we were struggling, I mean, that's what it takes in this league. It takes everybody. It's not the offense, not the defense. It's everybody together, coming together at the right time to be great, and that's what we want to be.
That's a look at sports. We're back with more news after the break.
We're here to help. Hospital today.
Take time now to honor a local veteran. Delmar Pugh served in the U.S. Navy. His hometown, Miami, Oklahoma. And we are proud to salute Delmar Pugh. He's tonight's 4-state hero. Doug Hetty's getting his stuff together, so while he's working on his computer, let's go ahead and do a final sports note first.
Well, it was a good 5-set match in volleyball today. Diamond beat College Heights 3-2. Both of them are back in action in the district tournament on Saturday.
Figured out what you needed to figure out?
Well, I noticed my computer locked, so I went over there and fixed it real quick.
There you go.
Yeah, it looks pretty good for the next few days. Temperatures, oh man, let me get the space bar. Temperatures look pretty good. We're going to be into the 70s by the time we head into tomorrow afternoon. A few random showers on Wednesday, but really all week looks pretty good, and then 80s return by the week.
Yeah, the weather looks beautiful. Glitch in the computer, but we'll get that taken care of. Hey, don't forget to join Tanya and Michael for the morning show, and let's make it a great tomorrow.
Service is provided by the Wild Side in Pitt.